All right, so I have another light I want to show you guys. This is the Streamlight. Actually, this is my very first unboxing of a light. I haven't even opened this thing. I opened the box itself, but I haven't opened this. I got this from Battery Junction, and I wanted a head size lamp because when I'm walking around doing stuff at home, it's kind of hard to hold a flashlight between your neck and your shoulders. So I wanted to get a nice little headlamp to use. So this is the Streamlight Enduro Pro. All right, so I got this from Battery Junction for about 20 bucks. It's a new product, that's why I wanted to get it. It's kind of cool because they always include one of these little keychain lights every time you spend at least $20. So I have like 30 of these laying around. One side is in Spanish, so if you speak Spanish, you can read that. All right, so take this thing out of the package. I don't have a knife to open this thing. Oh, I don't need a knife, look at that. Just kind of, you know, tear the box apart, getting it open. So, like I said before, this is my first unboxing, so this ought to be interesting. Doing all this while I've never used it before. So, oh, look, they come with batteries. How cool is that? Didn't know that. Have a cool little box that comes in. Streamlight's always had cool boxes in the last, from as far back as I can remember. It's been a long time since I bought a Streamlight elastic headband. We will take, oh, that must be the button. Wow, I'm never doing an unboxing again. I look stupid doing this. Okay, so here's how you take the batteries out and back in. Have a little, whoops, what is that? You have a little latch here. Of course, that opens and closes it. Sorry. Okay, so let's put these batteries in here and see what happens. It doesn't really feel that cheap. It may look cheap, but it doesn't really feel that cheap. The only thing that kind of feels cheap is maybe that. But what can you expect for 20 bucks, right? Okay, so anyways, got the batteries in here and push the button. Oh, look at that, PWM. Oh, really bad PWM. Whoa, that's bad, look at that. That's just as bad as the, wow, that's actually worse. Come to think of it, I actually do recall Streamlight always having a problem with their PWM. My long time ago, I bought a 2-cell AA flashlight from Bass Pro Shop and a 2CR flashlight, the PT2A and the PT2L, the one with the older emitters, and both of those had horrible PWM. Oh, I forgot there's 3 modes. Okay, cool. All right. At least high doesn't have that. Okay, so cycle through your modes. Basically, to turn it on, you just push this button one time. I don't know if it has mode memory. So there's a low. Oh, push it one time to. Oh, okay, I see how it works. Okay, so if you press it and leave it on, if you press it again, it turns off. Okay, no, it doesn't do that either. Press it once, and if it stays on for a second, then, you know, to turn it off, you press it again. I see. So it has to be on for at least a couple of seconds in order to turn it off. To cycle through your modes, you have to hit the button relatively quick before that interval between turning it off. So you just press the button that. So we'll see if it has mode memory or not. Now I have it on the highest mode, which I believe is 200 lumens. Turn it off. Now maybe it goes back into high? I don't know. It doesn't. Okay, so there is no mode memory. But what happens if you leave it on high and you turn it off and you press and hold? Okay, nothing happens when you press and hold. All right, so it does not have mode memory. Keep that in mind. All right. So if I have this right, wow. All right, so now that it's in the flood mode, it memorizes flood mode, so you can turn it on. There's low, medium, and high for the flood mode. So not the bottom one, but the top one is on, so that's the flood mode. And of course, if you press it again, it turns off. Now, if you do it again, let's go back into high mode, and if you hold it down while it's in that flood mode, then it goes into the, oh, the red mode, that's right. Okay, so there's different modes for that too. It's basically low and high for the red mode, or the red light, which is pretty cool, I have to admit. That's pretty cool. Let's press it again and turn it off. Now let's turn it on again, and if you hold it down, the button that is, then it should go back into the bottom light. So there it goes, back into the bottom light. So that's pretty cool. So there is your spot. You can cycle through the modes by pressing the button on and off. Cycle through your modes. And while it's in high mode, I believe you can probably do it from any mode. Just press the button and hold it, and it will go into the top light. And there it is. So there's the flood mode. And you can cycle through low, medium, high on that. Now you cannot turn them both on at the same time that I know of. If you can, I'll find that out later, but I don't believe you can because each one of these is putting off 200 lumens. And so, I mean, 200 lumens is the maximum output for the light. So I don't believe both of them would turn on high because that would be brighter than 200 lumens, I imagine. So now that it's in the flood mode, I'm going to leave it on low and we're going to hold it down and see what happens. Maybe it'll go into the red mode also. Okay, yeah, so it doesn't matter what mode it's in. If you hold the button down while it's on, it'll go into the next setting of illumination output, like, you know, spot, flood, and red light. And you have 2 modes on the red light. So hold it down again, and it will go into the bottom mode, and you can cycle through from there. So that's pretty cool. That's actually pretty neat. I have to admit, that's pretty cool. So there is PWM on the bottom and the top, flood and spot. Of course, there's no PWM on the red light. I can't imagine there being. Let's find out. Wow, of course I'd be dead wrong. I don't know why I would be right. Okay, so of course there is PWM on the red also, usually on the lowest modes. So PWM, which is pulse width modulation, is that strobe that you get. It's the frequency of light that, you know, the strobe, basically, the strobe effect that you get of the pulsing. Some people are sensitive to it, some people aren't, but it does have PWM. I can't imagine why it would not, because it's about $20 for this flashlight, and usually current-driven drivers usually cost a little more, so that's probably why it's not. It's 20 bucks. So PWM is present on all 3 lighting outputs, or 3 output LEDs, I guess. And then, of course, you can cycle through. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Neat, okay. All right, so you have a little, basically a bright orange or bright yellow plate that you can put on here. I imagine it's for safety, so people can see you if you are walking around at night, construction, blah, blah, blah. But if you have the light on, I guess they can see you anyways. So we're gonna snap that on there. I believe it just snaps on. Okay, yeah, so that's kind of cool. Little yellow plate that goes on there, says Streamlight. So yeah, so that is the Streamlight Enduro Pro. Pretty neat. Oh, what's this? Spare O-ring, maybe? Oh, okay. Another O-ring. So Streamlight and Surefire had to up their game. It's pretty cool because the past couple of years, Streamlight has really been making some pretty bright lights. They kind of had to because other flashlight companies are really making their stuff pretty bright. But I like how Streamlight says that they have the C4 LED technology, when pretty much, in fact, we know that it's Cree Industries. They use Cree LEDs. I don't believe Streamlight uses proprietary LEDs. I know Surefire does, but I don't think Streamlight does. So they call it C4, Cree 4, I guess, but they do utilize Cree LEDs, so I don't know why they just don't say Cree LEDs. You can't use both of them at the same time, both modes, spot and flood. You either get 200 lumens of spot or 135 lumens of flood. You cannot have 335 lumens of spot and flood. 2200 CD on the intensity on the spot mode, 210 CD on flood. So here's your little graph if you need that. I know a lot of people like this graph. Now, one thing that's cool about Streamlight, one of the best things about Streamlight that a lot of other flashlight manufacturers can't say, especially like Nitecore, Jetbeam, Claris, none of them are lifetime warranty. I do happen to note their lifetime warranty is a guaranteed lifetime warranty. A friend of mine's, this is what I get for charging my camera while I'm making a video. Interesting. So one thing I do notice about, one thing I did notice about Streamlight is you do have a lifetime warranty, which is great because a friend of mine's dad actually sent one in about 3 years ago, and it was about a 10-year-old flashlight, and they shipped them back a new one, no questions asked. So now remember, this flashlight or this headlamp does not have mode memory, but I will walk you through the user interface one more time. You have one button on top that doesn't even look like a button. Now, like I said, no mode memory, but it will memorize which of the settings you have it on, whether it be the flood or the throw or the 2 red lights. So I had it on the throw last time, so it should come on throw now. There's no mode memory, so you have low, medium, and high. You have to do it kind of quick because if you don't, it turns it off. So the spot is actually pretty bright. It's actually pretty bright. So push it again to turn it off. Cycle through again. No mode memory, and then turn it off. Basically press it again. Now, turn the light on. In order to go into the flood mode, you hold the switch down, and now it goes into your flood mode. So you have low, medium, high, which is actually, of course, pretty bright. I love the fact that it's got flood. I'll probably use that more. Now, it will memorize that, so if you press the button and turn it off and leave it off for a few seconds, it won't go back into the spot mode. You press it, It'll of course come back on this the flood mode, but it does come on low, so you have to cycle through. If you want red light, you basically hold the button down again, and you go into the red lights. Oh, okay, never mind. You don't have to wait. I'm sorry. So it turns off when it cycles through low, medium, high. I'm sorry. So there it turns off. Okay. So yeah, so that's the user interface for the Streamlight Enduro Pro. Okay, so real quick, we're going to do a brightness test of the new Streamlight that I got. So here's on the flood mode. It's not really that bright, of course. It's 135 lumens, so it's not really going to be that bright. But that is the flood mode. It does light up some pretty good area in front of you. We're going to switch over to the spotlight mode. So here is spot mode. Of course, that's low, medium, high. Of course, remember that's only 200 lumens, but you don't really want something too bright in the head unit, I guess. Alright, so while we're out here, we might as well do the Sunwayman TI Comet, 88 lumens. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, reach me in the comments, and of course I'll get back to you as quick as I can. Sometimes I'd take like a week to get back to you, but I'm really sorry. I do have a lot of stuff I do, but like I said, I will get back to you as fast as I can.